Somehow, someway, Luka Doncic, with his slithery and particularly unorthodox skill set, has led the Dallas Mavericks to new heights in just a couple of seasons. And I don't know how he does it. You don't know how he does it. But he's still made quite the highlight reel after just 4 seasons in the NBA. And some of these are just plain next level.
Luka against Williams. Baseline drive met by the double team. Oh, what a find to Finney Smith, and he got it to go. What a pass by Doncic.
I love it.
That was one of the most incredible passes in the history of the NBA. It might not have been a big stage playoff or NBA Finals game, and it didn't exactly look all that pretty when it left Luka's hand, but my gosh. The court vision, the timing, accuracy, and the velocity of that fastball. The fact that Luka was even able to get that pass off after being met mid-air by 2 Grizzlies defenders is incredible on its own. And for a white guy who supposedly can't jump, did you see that hang time? How did that ball look like it curved? Watch the spin on the ball and how it looks like it curves right into the shooter's pocket. Almost like how an NFL quarterback leads his receiver down the field. LeBron James, James Harden, Chris Paul, all guys consistently among the leaders in assists off of 3-point shots and have some of the best court vision when finding open shooters out on the perimeter. And now, I think it's time we put Luka in that conversation. In sports, a whole lot can go right, but even more can go wrong. And now ask yourself this, is there anything in sports that's worse than getting blown out on your home floor and then getting individually humiliated in front of everyone? So how about the time Luka Doncic and the Mavericks pulled off one of the most stunning performances of the last decade in last postseason's Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals? This wasn't just any blowout. This wasn't just any domination of a single game like we see every now and then. The Mavs made the Phoenix Suns look like a freshman high school team. And just when we thought things couldn't get any worse,
stunning 27-point lead, down goes Johnson, 3, Luka, bullseye. Oh no, they're shredding him. Oh no, he didn't.
Straight up merciless and probably one of the more lopsided playoff games we'll ever see. I'm convinced we need to start having conversations about putting Luka in that class of guys with the coveted killer mentality. The guy who lives for the big moments, the guy who's probably gonna hit all the clutch shots. Hasn't he done it enough in just 4 seasons played? Pick any player 25 years of age or younger that you want to take the final shot to win the game.
It's Luka against Josh Richardson, left side of the floor. Luka's 3, it's a ring.
I want Luka. Oh, and that was against one of the league's very best defenses. When we think of generational, transformative passers in the history of the NBA, guys like Magic Johnson come to mind. John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, maybe even LeBron. But the more I watch Luka Doncic, the more I'm convinced that we're watching one of the greatest facilitators and dime droppers this game has ever seen. He might not be on the level of a Magic or even a LeBron, but some of the passes he tries to pull off during games.
McCollum leads all scorers with 16. Leading Dallas, Luka with 12. Flipped it, eyes in the back of his head to an open Tim Hardaway Jr.
It'll leave you speechless. It's not just the awareness and knowing where his teammates were. The accuracy of that pass, like how? And just the confidence to try stuff like that is impressive on its own. Looking at the last 3 NBA seasons, Luka has finished in the top 5 in assists per game and total assists. And for his career, he's averaging better than 8 assists per game. And if you take that over 36 minutes, the number rises to 11.6, a number that's even higher than the assists per 36 minutes for the man many consider the greatest passer of all time, Magic Johnson. Luka's playmaking has been just as impactful in the win column for the Mavs as his scoring has been, and you can teach a lot to a player, but you can't teach becoming a great passer. It's literally a gift.
Dinwiddie missed it.
Alright, I've watched the NBA for many years now, and I've seen several unexpected moments. This is just another example of expecting the unexpected when you watch the NBA.
Oh, Doncic! A grown man's jam on the follow.
I know it was long ago, but Dwight Howard was the same guy they called Superman, and the very same guy who nearly made Kenny Smith cry on set with how incredible his dunk was at the time. I'm sure none of you thought a guy like Luka would hang over him on a putback dunk at any point in Dwight's career. Heck, I'm sure many people thought Luka couldn't even dunk before this highlight hit the internet, but I can't lie, that one knocked me out of my chair. This isn't the only time you'll see the Clippers mentioned in this video, and this most recent Luka highlight against the Clippers is certainly not the last time we'll see Luka Doncic go off. There's just something about Luka when he plays LA. And oh yeah, we learned another thing. When it comes to the final 2 minutes of a ball game, guard the left wing. If we look at it by the numbers, Luka in 13 career playoff games against these same LA Clippers is averaging better than 33 points per game, and that includes the first playoff game of his career against LA, which saw him claim the record for the most points by a player in their NBA playoff debut. In his last 5 regular season games against LA, Luka averaged just a tick under 40 points per game, 39.8, and 3 of those games featured at least 8 or more 3-pointers. I'd be afraid too if I were the Clippers. Alright, this one was a straight bruiser. Imagine seeing your playoff hopes dwindling on a last-second off-balance prayer. The only difference is that it happened thanks to arguably the greatest 22-year-old basketball player in the history of the sport.
Gotta get it in. Here's Luka. Gets it away. It's gone! A Dončić dagger!
Didn't I just say to guard the left wing at the end of the game? I don't know how he does it. Great players are built for big-time moments, I know, but the fact that many of his horse-like or playground shots are game winners and clutch shots is unfathomable to me. We typically see a level of craftiness, showmanship, and footwork from a guy who plays the guard position, maybe the small forward, a 6'5", 6', even a 6'8" or 9-inch guy with an outstanding build, and someone who was built for explosion and dynamic movement. What? Now, hearing what I just said, who do you think of? Kobe? MJ? Think of today's NBA, maybe Paul George, Devin Booker, Kyrie. How about LUKA DONČIĆ?
7 points for him. The twirling Dončić. Melting into the defense. The pump there. He got it in a foul.
He's an all-world talent, I know, but it just doesn't compute in my mind that a guy at Luka's size and stature can so effortlessly pull off moves that we're used to seeing from I don't know, prime Kobe Bryant. Not quickest, not the fastest, certainly not the most explosive. He has a little bit of everything that gives him one of the most unique offensive packages in the history of the NBA. And then the stare down and the mean mugging Luka does after the play, how can you not love this man's game? I'm blown away every time Luka goes ISO, seriously. This game will go down as one of the most classic games we'll look back on years later. Clippers Mavs, a series-altering Game 4, and one of the all-time memorable game winners by one of the game's bright young stars. Let's get one thing straight here. We knew Luka would be special, we knew he would win playoff games, but did we even remotely expect arguably the most incredible playoff debut in NBA history by a 21-year-old Slovenian sensation? None of us did. Fast forward to Game 4 with the Mavericks on the brink of facing the dreaded 3-1 deficit, 3.7 seconds left, 133 to 132 in overtime.
Dončić pulls up, three-pointer, bang, bang, it's good! Dončić wins the game at the buzzer!
And he did it against the Clippers team that was the odds-on favorite to come out as champions in the NBA bubble. Oh, and about that.
As the Denver Nuggets are going back to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 11 years. What a performance, a great team performance from these Nuggets.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Luka's already on his way to becoming one of the greatest players in the history of basketball, and now at just 23 years old and only in his 5th NBA season, he, incredibly, has already put together a better resume than 95% of guys ever to enter the NBA. And, dare I say, he has the chance to become the first European player to be considered the face of the NBA? At this point, I don't doubt anything from Luka.